Hello and welcome back to my channel. V here back with another exciting German video. This one is from Feli. This one is by Feli from Germany and it is titled Major Brands You Didn't Know Were from Germany. I think I've seen a video like this from her channel before, but I'm gonna check out this video again and see what this is about. Do like, share, subscribe to my channel, and let's get into this video.
Hallo, Servus, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Feli. I'm originally from Munich, Germany, but I've been living here in Cincinnati, Ohio since 2016. And even here on the other side of the Atlantic, I come across German brands and companies pretty much every day. Some of those are more obvious, such as car brands like BMW, Mercedes, Volkswagen, or Porsche. I think most people very much know that those are German, right? Then there are some brands or businesses in this case where I think it's slowly becoming more known that they're German, such as the grocery stores Aldi or Lidl. I even have a whole video about how the American Aldi compares to the German one. Definitely check that out if you're interested. But for some brands, I think most people would never guess that they're from Germany. But that's why I'm here to fill you in. And some of these even shocked me, like especially for number 15. My whole life, I had no idea that this was German. The first one is a meal kit service that I'm sure many of you have tried before, but even if you haven't, you've definitely come across it in an ad before. I've even collaborated with them a few times, so you may have seen them on my channel even. Of course, I'm talking about HelloFresh. In the last few years, this company has been everywhere, it feels like, both here in the US and in Germany, but they also operate in Canada, Australia, the UK, France, Sweden, and several other countries. And especially with that English name, who would have thought that the company was founded in good old Germany, in Berlin to be exact, in the year 2011. If you knew that, please let me know in the comments below, but I had no idea until I researched them for my first collaboration with them a couple years ago. And the same goes for this next company. If you've seen my videos, you may actually know that they're German because I have mentioned it before. I'm talking about one of the biggest language learning apps in the world, not the one with the owl, the other one, Babbel, or Bubble as it's pronounced in the original German, because this company was also founded in Berlin, Germany in 2007. Originally, they were just an online language learning website. Nowadays, most people of course use it as an app on their smartphone. To this day, Bubble is headquartered in Berlin, but they do also have a US location in New York. One of my favorite ways to learn a language is watching TV, by the way, because it's something that most of us do anyways, and switching to a different language might feel like a big obstacle at first, but with the LingoPie captions and tools, and especially when you already know the characters and the storyline, you honestly get into it so much faster than you'd think. And it's a great way to get immersed in how people actually speak in their everyday lives without having to travel to the country. Like you'll get used to colloquialisms, slang, and even different regional accents, which is something you wouldn't come across in a classroom setting. My English skills definitely reached the next level when I was a teenager and started watching American sitcoms like How I Met Your Mother or Scrubs in the original English instead of the German dubbed version. At the time, I really only switched because I couldn't wait to watch the brand new episodes as soon as they were released in the US, and in Germany, they usually took another year or so to come out, but it turned out to be the best thing for my language skills. Next up, we have one of the biggest telecommunication companies in the world. It's huge in Germany and it's huge here in the US. Two of my favorite American actors even advertise for them.
I've got home internet from T-Mobile. It only costs $50 at T-Mobile.
Of course, we're talking about T-Mobile, as it's pronounced here in the US. In Germany, the UK, and I think most other countries, it's usually pronounced T-Mobile. When I first moved here in 2016, my very first cell phone plan was with T-Mobile, and it took me a while to get used to the new pronunciation because in my mind, I was already pronouncing it the English way, but I guess not the American way. way. It's always belonged to the telecommunication company Deutsche Telekom, which is partially state-owned and used to have a monopoly on landline phone services and at the beginning on internet in Germany. T-Mobile used to be their subsidiary for cell phone service, but since 2010, the company has moved everything back under one roof, which is why the cell phone provider in Germany is now simply called Telekom. But you can clearly tell that they belong to the same company. Even the logos are pretty much the same still. In the US, Deutsche Telekom actually purchased an American wireless company called VoiceStream in 2001 and renamed it to T-Mobile. And here it does still carry that name to this day and is the second biggest cell phone provider after Verizon here. Okay, this next one is on the list because I think most people have no idea that this brand is German, but I feel like you guys probably do know if you've seen my videos about the pronunciation of this brand. I'm talking about Adidas, as we say in German, or Adidas, as Americans say. Needless to say, it's one of the biggest sports brands in the world, but most people don't know that it was founded in 1920s Germany by the brothers Adolf and Rudolf Dassler in Herzogenaurach, close to Nuremberg. Well, at the time, their business was called Gebrüder Dassler Schuhfabrik, and they made custom sports shoes for athletes, particularly soccer players and runners. They had started to integrate the brand new concept of spikes to their shoes, which was pretty revolutionary at the time, and in 1928, their shoes were even used in the Olympics for the first time. Now, one thing about German history is that almost all of the German companies that managed to survive the Third Reich and World War II had some affiliation with the Nazis, whether it was voluntarily or out of necessity. So it's not surprising that both of the Dassler brothers were members of the NSDAP, the Nazi party, and they even joined the National Socialist Motor Corps, which was a paramilitary organization. Additionally, Adolf was an official in the Hitler Youth. So it probably wasn't a coincidence that they ended up having the nation's only operating shoe factory during the war and mainly produced sports and specialty shoes for the Wehrmacht. Now, the brothers had some disagreements before the war too, but after the war is when they eventually decided to part ways for good. And that's when Adolf, whose nickname was Adi, founded Adidas, which is actually an acronym of his first and last name. Adi Dassler became Adidas. He ended up implementing screw-on spikes, which were a game changer for soccer players at the time, and his shoes were even used by the German national team. But Rudi also founded his own company under the name Ruder, also based on his name, but he later changed the name to Puma, which is actually number 5 on my list because I feel like this is even more unknown than Adidas. Both of these companies became the biggest sports shoe and clothing manufacturers in Germany and some of the biggest worldwide. Also, fun fact, this isn't the only story of two German brothers running a business together and then parting ways over a disagreement. The same thing happened to the Aldi brothers, who, as a result, split their family business into Aldi Nord and Aldi Süd, so North and South, and to this day, the country of Germany is divided by the Aldi equation.
In my country, we also have this celebrity brothers, okay? They are musicians, they are twin, and of recently they split up. I don't know what is usually the issues between the celebrities and why they always split apart. If you know why these brothers split apart, let me know. If you know why they went their separate ways, was it because of finances? Was it because of what? Hit me up in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching my reaction. Do like, share, subscribe to my channel for more videos like this, and watch out for the part 2 of this video. Check this playlist here for more of my reaction, and see you right in my next video. Bye.